We have a new record to announce in Forza Motorsport. The fastest crash in Forza Motorsport history starts now. And that pretty much sets the tone for this race overall. We're at Laguna Seca in the GT2s, coming down towards turn 1, and you can understand from what happened at the start of the race, things do deteriorate quite quickly. No problem for us though. On the inside we have gained another place, and thanks to the BMW to the right side building some castles in the gravel, that is 2 places gained in 1 corner alone. So we're up to position 9 coming out of turn 2 for the start of turn 3. Viper up in front, what a beautiful sounding car. One caveat to running this BMW is it's really actually hard to hear the engine note, especially in first and second gear. You know, it's really easy to just sit there on the limiter and not realize that you're just smashing the life out of it like you was driving a Honda Civic. Not only that though, we are rocking a Shell V-Power livery because, you know, we all know that a good livery in a car adds a good 10 horsepower, as Woodchuck chucks themselves into the Corvette and then into the gravel at the corkscrew. What a beautiful move right there, and well earned. Credit where credit is due. Now Atlas is running a Cars inspired livery by the looks of it. If I'm wrong, we'll fix that in a moment, but they are battling heavily with the Dodge Viper up in front, and if everybody keeps battling like that, it will only slow them down, thus we'll be able to catch up. It kind of looks like the Cars livery, yeah, it definitely is. So he's 95 from the back. There we go. Twisted Grey had a much better exit than ourselves, coming out of the final corner there as we're crossing over start and finish line for the start of lap 2. Now we are under pressure from the cars behind because they are definitely looking for a way through. We are on hard tyres. It is a medium length race, so pitting at Laguna Seca is so detrimental, it's not really worth it. Of course, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I think personally, hard tyres, no stop, Laguna Seca is the way to go. Of course, that's providing you're able to tyre save as you go around this track. Easier on the wheel than it is on controller, but not saying it's not doable. Do you mind, sir? We are trying to race here. You don't need to barge your way through. There is plenty of road. Anyway, coming out the other side of that, we have a car to our back left. Now, we're going to give him space through this corner, but space was absolutely pointless. It's like they didn't even bother turning. They literally straight into the side of this car. Anyway, all that hard work has now gone down the toilet, and we are back behind Woodchuck that went woodchucking into the gravel pit. As frustrating as what has happened is, it's not all doom and gloom because we are on hard tyres. We're going to save 40 seconds by choosing not to pit. So hopefully that will make us jump up a few places here and there. Now, as we get into lap 4, we've been working with Woodchuck up in front to a certain degree. Well, just keeping up with them really, and trying to claw back some of the lost time that has occurred during this race. Now, a few people have quit. Woodchuck crashed, and we're now up to position 11, which is absolutely ideal. Only 11 more places to go until we're in first place, and by lap 7 we're still in P11. We are right behind Twisted Grey though, that was in the Dodge Viper. Now Twisted Grey has been heavily scrubbing those front tyres, so I can only presume they're more than likely on controller, but I'm noticing as we're going through corners, I can hear those front wheels absolutely screaming, and the understeer they have is unreal. While their car may be fast in the straight line, we are going to be far better in the corners. Listen to that. No need to tyre save when you're in a Dodge Viper, that is all I can say. To be fair though, they were pretty quick, obviously in the straight line, and it was quite difficult to find a place to be able to overtake them. That might well be a penalty there, sir. And I think they actually got away with it. No way they cut the corner that heavily and actually got away with it. That's absolutely insane. The stewards must be feeling sorry for those front tyres on that car. Either way, we're going to be able to make a move here now. As they're scrubbing the life out of those tyres, we're going to have the inside, get out of that corner, don't smash that rev limiter, and get the power on. And oddly enough, I think they kind of let off because that Dodge Viper was quicker in a straight line than this car. But we have, well, we do seem to have a great run upon us. Oops, steady, steady. I have a rear to this car that I would like to keep nice. Thankfully, no for harm, no foul. We're up to position 8. 5.3 seconds away from Hainsey boy 2, 6, 7, 8 up in front, which is quite the lead, if I do say so myself. Thankfully though, everybody has now gone into the pits. Well, just about everybody anyway. Logitech that's just in the pits now was the person that was leading this race 18 seconds ahead as they entered. Question is, how far behind are they going to be when they come out the other side? 4.3 seconds away from Hainsey Boy up in front, not too bad, can work upon that. BMW having a little bit of a moment there, a little bit of understeer, gone about a little bit too early and just forced it out. Kind of a bit sensitive, this BMW, if you're going up power a little bit too early, it will just push itself out wide. Now, Hainsey Boy has gone to the pits, so you can only presume they're going to go onto soft tyres. Thankfully, though, we can actually see the next contestant ahead, which is also rocking a 0.4 second penalty. Now, they're only 4.9 seconds away. Plenty of time, plenty of laps to be able to try and catch them up. Our tyres, on the other hand, are all on minor wear. All really not looking too good, especially seeing we have another lap to go after this one. Hopefully we don't click onto moderate wear by that point. And Portasax, who was the leader of this race, is 15 seconds behind us. These tyres are really starting to show their age. Not as bad as the Porsche's having, but the Porsche's still staying on the track 0.7 seconds away. There's actually a car not too far from them. I wonder if we could bunny hop this Porsche and try and catch up to that other car. I'm not too sure what they're doing, but I think they have fell off a cliff. Well, that's a position gain. Oh, look at that. Atlas is rocking a 5.7 second penalty. Oh my gosh. Well, we got P4 in the bag. Yeah, wow. That was unexpected. Can't grumble though. I mean, considering the start of the race, it's about the time we had a bit of good luck. And wow, Atlas is also really, really struggling to control this car. I'll tell you what will be icing on the cake if we are able to also overtake Atlas in this final corner. Look at that. Beautifully done. Atlas has gone off the track. We've claimed position 4 without using the penalty. Certainly not going to get P3, 8.8 seconds away, but what a race that was, and how on earth did that happen? It doesn't just end there though. We're going to head over to Spa, where things really do not go in our favour here. But start of the race, we end up smashing into the Porsche up in front whilst getting rear-ended from behind. So nothing like a good old Forza start to the race. At least we're not in that Ferrari situation and we're still on the track. Smashing that limiter as we go into the second gear because it's so hard to hear this engine. It is a smooth engine, don't get me wrong, but a bit of audio would be nice. You know, it's really easy to miss a gear. That's the best way of putting it, yeah. I've got my excuses out of the way here because this race is just all downhill from this point onwards. Besides that's a position gained. I can't really grumble too much about that. BMW behind goes into the back of us, even though the radar has no detection skills whatsoever. Flat out down the straight and braking as soon as we see that 100 board and down to second gear. We'll be braking a little bit earlier to give a bit of space from the cars up in front. Let things develop whilst we watch from a distance. Probably the safest port of call. As you can see, it has worked in our favour to a certain degree. We have the inside line of this sharp corner coming up ahead. Martini livery. Oh, hello you. Where did you come from? Well, that's a position gain. Well, 2, kind of, technically. We lost 1 and gained 2. So, excuse me, sir. Do you mind? I am beside you. Well, that went swimmingly, didn't it? Get smashed off the track by the BMW. Car is controllable, but having a moment, and then encouraged to go off the track by everybody else. We're now in last place because position 18 has quit. So, yeah, nothing like a comeback story at Spa in Belgium. Either way, we have the great car. Absolute perfect car for this track. And I'm saying that because I'm trying to make excuses or feel better about the situation. But yeah, that was kind of detrimental. And more frustrating to a point as well. But 1 position gained. 2 cars up ahead are heavily battling with each other. And we're going to go on the left-hand side, take that position, bit of pinballing going on, hit into me, hit into the car on the right, and off the track they go. Another position gain, and thankfully we stayed on our track ourselves, so the weight of this BMW worked in our favour, especially being front-engined as well. The Corvette, it just didn't play out for them. Just laugh it off. Yep, that is the perfect name for this race. Excuse me, I'm just trying to get through here, thank you very much. Why did they keep turning left? Was I the next target? Was we going to get smashed off the track there? Who knows? Could have been a little bit wheel spin. You know, seeing the way this race behaved up to now, anything is possible. Just saying. Position 13 in the bag, setting a great start for lap 2, 1 second ahead. Coming down to the point of track where usually we go off into the wall or get a penalty. Seems to be pretty stable up to now. Steady car, behave yourself. Caught it, but went off the track. And guess what? Oh, that's not actually too bad. Could have been worse. 0.3 seconds. Still an unfairish punishment, but 0.3 seconds is quite negligible. Catching up to the Wolfpack of cars up in front who are rocking 0.1 second penalty, which is more negligible than what I've got. I mean, it's more of a pointless penalty if I say so myself. But that is a position gain because they discovered gravel on the right hand side of the track was extremely interesting. Out of the side we go. Mr. Mint 23 up ahead, 1.6 seconds away. What a name that is. I've got to say, for these last few races we have had some really unique and very actually good names. So credit where credit's due, Mr. Mint. Are you peppermint or spearmint? That is the next question on the list. Braking at the 150 board, down to second gear, over the curb we go, knocking it down to first gear to get better rotation out of this final corner, powering out the other side, banging that rev limiter because yep, couldn't hear it, and it is what it is. Lost a few temps there, but overall we have caught up to this next Wolfpack of cars, which only means we might be in for a chance of taking set positions from them. Flat out down here, hopefully we don't go off the track again and visit the wall or claim another penalty for the book of penalties. Wow, that's a car there, and they quit the race. Fair enough. And guess what? We stayed on the track. We didn't go off. No penalty, no out of control moments. This car is starting to behave itself, or just getting better at control. I'll put it on the car. Just gonna put it on the car. Wasn't too long till we caught up to Mr. Mint or Spearmint or Peppermint, but they are rocking a lovely Ferrari. Not driven that car in a very long time. Last time I drove it, it was very unpredictable, but I was fiddling with the tune, made it awful, and then decided, you know what, it really wasn't worth fixing. It was absolutely dreadful. That's all I can say. But trio of cars up in front. Ferrari is looking for a way through, and I think if they keep behaving in that manner, all manners of chaos is about to ensue. So do you know what? We're going to let off and watch this unfold. I have no idea where that Ferrari went, but it certainly wasn't on the track. Yeah, that was weird. Cannot grumble. 2 positions gained, right up behind this Porsche up in front, and position 7, who was the one that initially smashed us off the track. Just bear in mind though, the tyre strategy here is, I'm not too sure, may well be rocking hard tyres, and thus is why we caught up to them, because we are medium tyres ourselves. Well, hell of a dive bomb from that Porsche into that BMW, and I'm surprised they actually made it work, to be fair. I thought that was going to be an accident. Well, Corvette right up my trumpet. Gonna have a bit of contact with the Corvette because braking is not an option, and having traffic up in front, you know, skill issue on the side of the car, just saying. I'm only talking with you, bud. Either way, Rick Dan is going to pull us along down this straight. We're going to be able to keep up with those 2 cars, and if Dan and the BMW do end up battling, that will only slow both of them down, hopefully give us an opportunity to take that position. Go on, Dan, get going, bud, take that position, especially away from that BMW who has 0 side awareness. We actually might be able to take this BMW here in a second as well. Seems to be a little bit slippery coming out of those corners. Hopefully it could be because their tyres are worn. But I have a feeling that is not the case. Ah, yeah, there you go. See, answered all the questions to the side of that car. Red Bull livery, no space. See, zero side spatial awareness. Literally right beside, and there is contact in a straight line. Obviously in the corners we're leaning on each other, but going down the straight there is no need for any form of contact. We are in a straight bit of road, my friend. And yeah, well, there you go. What goes around comes around. Thank you ever so much. Yeah, I just don't understand. Do you mind, mate? Seriously, I'm gonna have zero paint left on this car if you keep hitting it. Oh dear me. Just don't understand it sometimes. And if you ever look, it's actually cost us 2 seconds from Rick Dan up in front because, well, they're 2 seconds away now. All that bouncing, banging and everything like that just really slows you down, and side-by-side racing isn't all that hard, and especially when you're in third-person view as well. So there's got to be an element of choice about it. Now, Rick Dan is going to the pits. Ourselves, probably a great time to go into the pits. And out the other side we go, choosing to go for another set of medium tyres. Now, Rick Dan is rocking a 3.2 second penalty. We have a 0.3 second penalty, so that may work in our favour. But poor choices were made at this track, and these choices were tyres. Now, I generally thought Spa would be a little bit more aggressive on the tyres, and it certainly wasn't the case. I think what would have been better is probably going soft to soft, you know. Mediums had plenty left before I went into the pits, so maybe medium to soft tyres was probably the better play. Could have stayed out for one more lap then jump onto softs, but that wasn't the case and we didn't do it. Generally, really missed opportunity on tyre choices there. Overtaking the Red Bull GT40 to our left hand side. Lati Mac, that is a position gain. We're now up to position 9, which is ideal to a certain degree. I mean, we're in the top 10, which is far better than what we were earlier, but it would have been nicer and probably more beneficial if we had better tyres. And I think maybe Rick Dan probably picked the better tyres, because I am struggling to keep up with that car to a certain degree. Now, maybe Haas no stops could have been the play here, but the pitting is actually quite short, so I didn't think that was the best of ideas. But definitely medium to soft or soft to mediums is definitely the better play than going medium to medium tyres, especially when you got tread left over like I did. I had another 10%, which was probably another lap, maybe even a lap and a half. You know, really wasn't the smartest of plays. But it is what it is, got to make it work. 3.2 seconds away from Rick Dan, who also made a slight mistake. Actually, it didn't really compromise their time all that much. Ourselves, on the other hand, well, we do end up starting to make mistakes. Just overdriving that car to a certain degree. Silly little things start to happen. And whilst Rick Dan is 1.1 seconds away at the moment, it doesn't stay that way for all that long. Do have to lift here. Don't think he can actually do it flat out. If he can, I think he's going to be on soft tyres, certainly not medium. Anyway, heading back to what I was saying a moment ago about said mistakes. We're still in P9. Rick Dan is 2.4 seconds away, and we're about to start our final lap. Now, wanting to keep up with Rick Dan up in front and try and actually claw back some of that time, because we ourselves are also rocking a 0.4 second penalty. So while they are 2.6 seconds away, when they get to 2.8, then their penalty isn't going to matter all that much. We're going to send it down here as fast as we can and try and claw back some time, but we end up overdriving the car and just not taking this section all that well. It's not just this section, it's all literally downhill from here. So we butcher that up. That Rick Dan up in front, 3.3 seconds away. So now that penalty they've got is negligible. We are holding on to P9 unless they make a mistake. And there you go. Too quick into that corner there. Braking mid-corner to try and compensate for that, and losing the rear end has actually cost us a full second. So unless Rick Dan falls off the track, we have delivered P9 at the end of this race. Not grumbling, don't get me wrong, but it could have been obviously a little bit better. And I think a lot of things did play into that. You see now the bottom right, we have 66% of our tyres remaining, which is quite a substantial amount. Medium to soft tyres or soft tyres to medium tyres probably was the better play. Also, not getting sent off the track would have been nice. And just not overdriving the car on the final lap could have also made a very huge difference. Yeah, either way, Ghost Apex, wow, I didn't realise that. Ghost Apex is 45 seconds ahead, has just crossed that finish line. Oh dear me. And considering we're only in position 9, they are so far away, it's unreal. 20-minute race, 45 seconds ahead, just shows you the chaos we've had back here and the front of the pack didn't have. And that's how they get that kind of lead. Also probably better tyre strategies also do help a lot. Ooh, the Carpet front ATR Asterix has a 1.1 second penalty. Can we bounce on that? Nah. You never know, they could have butchered up this last corner here, easily done, but clearly not the case. Thank you all for watching, see you all next time, goodbye.